my name is Siena. I went to Oberlin College, majored in East Asian Studies and English, graduated 2010. Good morning. I'm going to talk about a little bit about my experience. I have some advice for you for keeping up your language skills, even if you're not using Japanese in your daily profession, and a couple of thoughts for the future. So first, to get my background out of the way, as I mentioned, I did East Asian Studies at Oberlin, double majored, also in English. After I graduated, I did an internship in Saitama through the Ohio Saitama Company program, which is an awesome thing, partially run by OSU, so thank you, Janet, and thanks for inviting me here. I passed the JLPT N1, which I don't normally get to brag about, so it's really exciting to be in a room full of people who will actually understand what that means. I eventually made a transition into software engineering, and to do that, I went to a programming boot camp called Hack Right Academy. It's a boot camp for women in San Francisco. As part of that, I got to do a personal project, so I thought, why not bring in my Japanese interests, do something cool, and I built an OCR engine that I'm going to show you in the next slide. It's really cool. And now I work at Indiegogo, a global crowdfunding platform, and I'm a full-time software engineer. I've done some mobile development, and I'm working on our web stack this year, so that's really fun. Do I have any engineering students in the room? Yeah! One! Well, great, good to see you. Cool. So this is my HackRide project that I made. Is anyone familiar with the Chrome extension Rikai-kun or Rikai-chan? Y'all use that? It's awesome, right? So you like mouse over some text and it gives you a dictionary pop-up. Really useful for trying to read newspaper, stuff like that. So I decided for my project, I wanted to build that, but for images. So you kind of draw a square over an image, and then it uses OCR, or optical character recognition, to parse out the characters into strings. So that's what I built. It actually wasn't as hard as it sounds like it would be. And I integrated the Jim Green dictionary, which is what Rikai-kun also uses in gshow.org, sort of like the standard open source Japanese English dictionary. You get like a giant XML file and you can parse that, do whatever you want. So that's built in there. And I also did a little bit of like alternate candidate selection. So you can see there that that's not quite right, but it was right on the second try, so you can kind of pick that one as like your actual candidate. So that was really, really fun. I built it in Python, SQLite database, and some JavaScript front end. If this sounds cool to you, please come talk to me about it afterwards, because it was awesome. So I kind of wanted to use this time to impart to you some strategies I've learned for keeping up with my Japanese. Even though I don't work in Japan, I don't work at a Japanese company, but I still study Japanese every day, and I try to keep my skills really sharp. So I wanted to tell you all how I do that. So first of all, after you graduate, I want to encourage you to start thinking in the long term. When you're in college, you're kind of just like, all right, I got to get to my next test, I got to get to my final, got to make it past the semester. But once you graduate, you've got like your timeline all of a sudden becomes the rest of your life. So you don't have to hurry or try to cram anything. You can start planning things out on a much longer schedule. So don't think you have to learn everything like all at once, which is kind of sometimes how college goes, right? I think this is an important question to ask yourself. What haven't you learned yet that you would like to have learned? Maybe you thought studying Japanese for 4 years at a college would get you to a certain point, but you don't feel like you're there yet, or you thought you would cover some specific area that you didn't. So that's a good candidate to go on your goals list. I think this is kind of funny advice, but study what actually matters to you. It seems like it would be kind of obvious. But like, if reading the Japanese newspaper bores you and you don't get much enjoyment out of it, you don't have to do it. It's fine. It's fine. You don't have to do it. If you started learning Japanese because you wanted to read manga, go read manga. It's fine. Like, that's what you're doing with your skills, so just do it. And lastly, don't be shy about letting others know that you speak Japanese, because you never know. I mention it to my coworkers when it comes up, which I don't know, is sometimes kind of awkward. I kind of had a little random one-off at work not too long ago where we had gotten professionally translated like a hardware handbook. We do crowdfunding, we do a lot of hardware campaigns. So we had a Japanese translation of the hardware handbook and they needed someone to kind of proofread it. And I was like, I got you. I can totally do this. So you never know what might come up. So I'm going to present to you sort of some sample goals that I had to myself. Obviously, you don't have to do things exactly the way I did them, but just to kind of give you some examples. One of my goals was to develop a daily study habit. And I do this with a program called Anki. Does anyone use Anki? Yeah, I'm going to talk a lot about Anki. So if you don't know what Anki is, it's a desktop and web app spaced repetition flashcard program. So the idea is that, actually I have a screenshot. So you get a card and you answer it in your mind, and then you can pick how easy it was. So like if you got it wrong, it was easy for you to answer, super easy. And then the cards that were easy, it asks you them like later down the road. The ones that you missed, it asks you like the next day. So it kind of spaces out, so you don't have like every card ever due every day. You just have the cards that you need to review. So it's really cool. It's a good way to kind of break things up in chunks. I do my Anki, it's like 10 to 20 minutes every morning. You can certainly do less than that, you can certainly do more. A general rule that I follow is to make my own cards, as opposed to downloading a bunch of decks off the internet, which might be the next line point. I try to change this. So that's fine. So I like to make my own cards because I think it's more effective for you to go through all the material yourself instead of just downloading like a 2,000 word deck and then you've never seen most of that material before. So it's much better to kind of curate over time, and then you're more familiar with your own material, and you can make it really personal to you what you're interested in. And I think the last point I wanted to mention here was to know your limits. So if you feel like you're doing too much a day, you don't need to do that much, then just cut it down, it's fine. One of my other goals, and this is sort of a lofty one, was I wanted to learn all of the JoJo kanji. It's like the 2,000 odd kanji that you learn if you go through the Japanese school system. This is just something I decided I hadn't done yet and I wanted to do. So I used Heisig's Remembering Kanji series. Is anyone familiar with this book? Yeah. He's got a pretty different methodology of learning kanji. He doesn't necessarily need you to know Japanese to do his books, but he sort of teaches you how to break down each character into like the radicals and make up stories for how to remember all the characters. And I think it's really effective, although I wouldn't recommend it if you're just starting out. It was great for me as sort of like a refresher and like a completionist sort of a way to learn all the kanji. I also caught all the Pokemon. I kind of had this like completionist thing on. It's an interesting methodology that you should check out. And obviously to get through this, I made Anki cards. I still do this every day. I get a Heisig keyword and then I have to write the character. So I can actually still write in Japanese, which a lot of people don't. And lastly, to make it make sense to you, if you don't like how he does stuff, just change it. It's fine. You're an adult now. You can do whatever you want. And since this is the technology panel, I thought I'd talk about a little bit about what cool programmatic stuff you can do with Anki. Anki is all in Python. It's open source. You can write your own extensions. One of the reasons that I was sort of inspired to learn programming was so that I could manipulate my own Anki decks, which I've done. I like mine them for my own personal gain and benefit. It's awesome. So I'll just Python and SQL and a lot of like parsing of text and that kind of thing. And it's super fun. So you can do that. I mentioned Anki is open source. There's other Japanese-related open source projects out there. Contribute to those. And this is something I'm going to try to start doing, is to start speaking at technical conferences in Japan. I don't know if anyone's a Rubyist in the room, but Ruby Kaigi is coming up in early December. And they have an open call for proposals, so you can just submit a talk, and if you get accepted, then you get to go to Japan and do something technical. So I think that's awesome. Sort of my last point I want to make is that software engineering is super portable. Engineering is really in demand right now, especially in the Bay Area, which is where I live. You can kind of take it anywhere, right? You don't have to necessarily work out of an office, people. I do. But you can do a lot of engineering work remotely. The startup scene in Tokyo is really starting to take off. I've been trying to keep my eye on this because I do sort of eventually want to go to Japan, maybe work a startup there. Things are really evolving right now, and I think it's going to be really exciting to see if I can make my way over there and do something fancy. And also, big companies in Japan like Rakuten are really trying to have a global impact, and they're going to need you. You guys all know that Rakuten a couple of years ago decided to do all of their business in Japan in English. So that's fascinating, right? So, I hope you all keep up with your Japanese. Obviously, you're going to live there. It's be very beneficial to you to speak Japanese, but maybe you actually don't have to work in Japanese, which I find quite intriguing as well. So sort of some these are some fun pictures from my times in Japan. The one on top is from the Saitama internship, that was a great time. So sort of what I gained from my overall Japanese studying experience is definitely discipline. You know, I do this stuff every day still and sort of just made it a habit. Self-motivation, no one is telling me I have to do these things, I just want to do them because I'm interested in it. Confidence that I could learn something hard. This definitely carried over, I think, into becoming a software engineer. You know, a lot of people are like, oh, programming, that's hard, oh, kanji, that's hard too, but whatever, you're smart, you can go figure it out. And you know, obviously the wonderful personal connections I made through my very study abroad, and other things like my internship. It's been super fun to have Japan as a part of my life and just something that I carry with me, even though, you know, I don't do it professionally, but maybe someday I can go over there and, yeah, it's just really special to me. So that's me. My Twitter is Siena Time. I have a tech blog with one of my friends. It's mojiparty.net. And if you are an engineering student, you're interested in maybe coming out and doing an internship for us next summer, please come find me and we'll chat. Okay.
If anybody has any questions,
Questions at the end.
if you want to, or
Well,
you still have only 10 minutes of your slot.
No way, really? Well, I didn't time it, so.
You got a little bit of time. You want to squeeze it in
Okay.
right now. Just while everything's fresh.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Technically, I probably missed this one, but I thought you said you majored in East Asian studies.
Yes.
Overly? Where did you get the background for software engineering?
Here and there. You know, I've always done computer stuff. I took some CS at Oberlin to Java for 2 semesters there. The first job I got out of college was in tech, but I wasn't an engineer. I was doing some front-end things, some JavaScript, CSS type things, and I was like, oh, that's interesting. I'd like to do more of that. So then I decided to make the jump into full-time engineering. Sort of previous to that, I was like, maybe I'll save up for grad school, maybe I'll go be a translator or something like that, interpreter. But I sort of did this instead.
So you pretty much taught yourself?
I went to a boot camp, a 12-week boot camp that teaches you sort of software engineering principles. It's called Hackread Academy. This is sort of a big trend now in the Bay Area, it's programming boot camps. So you do this program, you do the personal projects, which was an OCR engine that I made, and then they help you get a job.
So you're almost actually open source in your educational
Almost, yeah.
Okay, well, we will have more time at the end for more
Yeah.
discussion.